Welcome back to the revision series of human physiology. In this, we'll go over all the important points of circulatory pathways in human heart as well as cardiac cycle that are given in NCERT. So, circulatory system in different organisms. NCERT starts with the line that arthropods and mollusks have open circulatory system and the body cavities in which blood is pumped in arthropods and mollusks is called sinuses, and annelids and chordates on the other hand have closed circulatory system. You have to remember that annelids have closed circulatory system, after which NCERT goes into detail of some circulatory systems of vertebrate classes. For example, fishes, they have two chambered heart, one auricle and one ventricle. So the deoxygenated blood is pumped from an auricle and it gets oxygenated in gills and comes back to a ventricle, that is single circulation. Next, amphibians, they have incomplete double circulation. So amphibians, reptiles, and except crocodile, you have to remember except crocodile, it is given in NCERT. Amphibians and reptiles except crocodiles have three chambered heart, two atria and one ventricle, and they show incomplete double circulation. So that means that deoxygenated blood is pumped from right auricle, it goes to either lungs, gills, or skin. You have to remember skin because amphibians show cutaneous respiration. So the deoxygenated blood gets oxygenated and it comes back to right left auricle, and deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood get from both of these auricles get mixed in a single ventricle. After that, we have crocodiles, birds, and mammals. They have four chambered heart, two atria, and two ventricle. They show double circulation and blood is oxygenated through lungs. Next, coming to the topic of human heart. So in human heart, you have to remember this diagram. This diagram is very basic. So you have to remember the position of sinoatrial node in atrioventricular node. So SA node is present in the upper left corner of right atrium, and AV node is present in the lower right corner of the right atrium. And you have to remember all the valves that are present inside heart. So for example, the valve between right atrium and right ventricle is tricuspid valve, and the valve between left ventricle and left atrium is bicuspid valve. And then there is these semilunar valves which are present between right ventricle and pulmonary artery, and semilunar valves which are present between left ventricle and aorta. After that, you have to remember that chordae tendineae, these are the fibers that hold tricuspid and bicuspid valve. Next, you have to remember that heart is mesodermally derived organ and it has a double walled pericardium, and inside the pericardium there is pericardial fluid. As I've said that heart is self-excitatory, that means SA node and EV node, they send signals without neural intervention. This is what helps the heart beat. Next, you have to remember that atrioventricular, and from atrioventricular node starts AV bundle, and it breaks down into the bundle of His at the top of atrioventricular septum, not at the bottom of atrioventricular septum. So it breaks down into the bundle of His at the top of atrioventricular septum, and it divides into two bundle of His's, right bundle of His and left bundle of His, and these go all over the musculature of the ventricles and divide into certain Purkinje fibers. Next, as we have seen that SA node can generate maximum number of action potential 70 to 75 per minute. These action potential can differ with at different points of nodal system. Now the response, and so SA node is called pacemaker of heart and natural pacemaker of heart, and our heart normally beats at 70 to 75 times in a minute, which averages to around 72 beats per minute. Next, another important topic is cardiac cycle. So cardiac cycle starts with atrial systole, which lasts for 0.1 second. SA node generates action potential. Then there is ventricular systole, in which AV node, AV bundle, and bundle of His transmit this action potential further. And then there is giant diastole, which is the longest, which lasts for 0.4 second. Totally, cardiac cycle lasts for 0.8 seconds. So you have to remember that systole means contraction and diastole means relaxation. So atrial systole, 8 auricles contract, ventricular systole, ventricles contract, and in joint diastole both are relaxed. As you can see in this table, in auricle systole, auricles contract and they increase the blood flow into the ventricles by about 30%. You have to remember this. Next, the ventriculars are obviously relaxed when auricles contract, and the tricuspid and bicuspid valve are open because the blood has to flow from auricles to ventricles, and semilunar valves are closed. Next, in ventricular systole, auricles are relaxed, and ventricle they contract throughout 70 ml of blood into the ventricles. This is called stroke volume. At this time, tricuspid and bicuspid valves are closed, and first heart sound lub is produced. Next, in joint diastole, both auricles and ventricles are relaxed, and tricuspid and bicuspid valves are open, and semilunar valves are closed. This produces the second heart sound dub. So you have to remember when the first heart sound and second heart sounds are produced. So in ventricular systole, tricuspid and bicuspid valve, they produce first heart sound lub, and in joint diastole, semilunar valve, when they close, they produce the second heart sound dub. So thank you for watching this video. In next part, we'll go over ECG and few of the cardiac diseases as well as the structure of arteries and veins.